Salutations and welcome to Kirby Plays Games. In this short video, I am going to help you decide how to spend your first few skill points in 7 Days to Die. This is especially important to figure out since completing the starting quest gives you 4 skill points to spend at the beginning of the game. So stick around and we will go over some of the different starting builds possible, as well as some early perks that are generally good picks to get you started in 7 Days to Die. Probably the most well-known build is the Looter, so we'll tackle that one first. It is pretty straightforward, with 1 point invested into Perception level 2 and 2 points into Lucky Looter. Perception level 2 boosts your headshot damage with spears, rifles, and explosives by 210% and increases these weapons' chance to dismember. It also allows you to purchase 2 levels of Lucky Looter, which is an essential ability for anyone who expects to be looting. And folks, it is a survival game, so this is definitely useful. This perk not only allows you to find better loot, but also lets you loot faster and decreases the search radius for buried treasure. Since you'll have a point left over, lockpicking is a great pick for this. It is also under the Perception tab, and the first level of this lets you craft lockpicks, pick locks 10% faster, and have a 5% lower chance to break lockpicks that you are using. Another great pick for your 4th skill point is to invest into Pack Mule for all the extra loot that you'll have, but we'll go into that one a little bit later. To be fair, this build is probably well known because it is a solid choice to start. In early game, you will not likely have access to crafting stations, refinement, or materials, so your best bet for good equipment is going to be questing and looting to start. Our next build is what I call the Builder. It is best for players who want to maximize early resource collecting, minimize grind time, and get started on their base as soon as possible. For this build, by the first level of Miner 69er, Motherlode, Sexual Tyrannosaurus, and Advanced Engineering. Since these are all first level, you will not have to spend any skill points in attributes to unlock them, and the benefits are great for early building and resource gathering. Before moving on, we'll quickly review what the first level of each of these perks does. Miner 69er lets you craft level 2 tools, which means higher quality resource harvesting equipment. And it also increases tool damage by 10% and block damage by 30%. Motherlode lets you harvest 20% more from ore, stone, and terrain blocks, as well as trees. This will significantly speed up your resource grind, so don't overlook Motherlode. Sexual Tyrannosaurus improves resource gathering efficiency by reducing melee and tool stamina use by 5%, and it even reduces stamina used for power attacks by 10%. This is not only good for mining, but also good for early game close encounters, since your melee attacks will drain less of your stamina. With the Advanced Engineer perk, you can forge iron and other metal objects. Specifically, this lets you craft the forge, which is an essential early game utility. Also, you can craft items 20% faster at forges with this perk. The importance of a forge would need its own episode to explain, so let me know if that is a thing I should do. For now, I will just summarize that it is necessary as a first step to unlocking most of the game's options for crafting tools, weapons, equipment, and defenses. Having an early forge is great, but this can wait if you want to spend your points elsewhere. These previous 2 builds focus on different types of utility, so let's check something out that's a little more combat focused. The club is a great starter weapon since it is easy to craft, can knock down or decapitate zombies, and has a reasonable stamina cost per swing. Also, you get one by completing the starting quest anyways. Best starter perks for a clubbing build, in my opinion, are Pummel Pete, Sexual Tyrannosaurus, Pain Tolerance, and Healing Factor. The first 2 are under the Strength attribute, which also buffs the headshot damage on clubs by 200% at level 1, and gives greater chance to dismember your target with a club. So basically, strength is not a bad choice to invest in if you want to double down on this build. The second two are under fortitude, which is not so remarkable for the club itself, but will be needed to unlock higher levels of heavy armor, which is suitable for melee builds. We've already gone over Sexual Tyrannosaurus, so we'll just touch on the other three perks I mentioned before moving on to our last build. Pummel Pete is amazing for anyone planning to hit zombies with a chunk of wood. With this perk, clubs deal 10% more damage, regular and power attacks do 40% more damage to stunned enemies, and have a 60% chance for power attacks to knock foes down. It also unlocks iron reinforced club crafting, and it lets you craft level 2 clubs. Pain tolerance is good for melee, since you will likely be trading blows with zombies from time to time. It reduces HP loss by 5% and gives you 20% less of a chance to be stunned. Healing factor is another recovery perk, which is helpful for players who expect to take some damage from the enemy. It restores 1 HP every 60 seconds with natural healing, though it is worth noting that this will not work if you are starving or dehydrated. The Assassin is a combat utility build for those who like to play sneaky and safe. It focuses on stealth shots with the bow to deal bonus damage and take out zombies quietly, quickly, and from a distance. It is nice because there are only 3 required perks to get started, so you have some flexibility in how to spend your last point gained from completing the starting quest. The 3 perks I would recommend are all under the Agility attribute, and those are Archery, Hidden Strike, and From the Shadows. Archery causes bows to deal 10% more damage, aim 10% faster, draw and reload 10% faster with bows. It also lets you craft level 2 bows and unlocks wooden bow and crossbow crafting. Hidden Strike makes sneak attacks deal an extra 50% damage. To perform a sneak attack, you just have to crouch, and you'll get bonus damage for your stealth shot. From the Shadows lets you hide in the shadows 13% more effectively, and muffles noises from your actions by 10%, as well as increases sneak movement by 10%. From here, you can invest the additional point into agility if you plan to level these up further, or something else. Spear is possibly another great option in case you do get into melee range, but still want to keep the zombies back a bit, especially since it does have a ranged throwing option as well. On that note, let's talk about some essential and highly effective early game perks, which are not part of the above builds, but are very much worth considering. For the Encumbered, we have Pack Mule, which lets you carry 3 more items without being encumbered. For the Hungry, we have Master Chef and Iron Gut. Master Chef unlocks basic recipes such as bacon and eggs, boiled meat, grilled meat, baked potato, cornbread, teas, and coffee. Also lets you cook 10% faster. Iron Gut reduces food and water loss from physical exertion by 5%. It also allows you to hold your breath for 84 seconds, and your chance of food poisoning and dysentery is reduced by 1%. To top it all off, buffs from consumables last 10% longer. For those who think they're going to be doing some questing, I would recommend Better Barter and Daring Adventure. As I mentioned earlier in this video, questing is a great way to get some early game loot and money, so Better Barter is going to give you a 5% better deal when buying and selling merchandise with the traders, which will be great since you'll be at the trader a lot anyways. And Daring Adventurer gives you an additional choice for quest rewards. Also, it's great to combine these with Lucky Looter to reduce the search radius for treasure and the quality of loot you get while on quests. For the Motorheads and those hoping to get a vehicle up and running quickly, I would recommend Salvage Operations and Grease Monkey. Salvage Operations allows you to craft wrenches and craft them at level 2. It lets you deal 10% more damage, harvest 20% faster, and gain 20% more material resources when salvaging with wrenches. And Grease Monkey lets you craft bicycle parts and craft the wheel and bicycle parts 33% cheaper. So this will all get you on the road a lot earlier than waiting to find the parts and try to assemble them yourself. It's important to remember that 7 Days to Die is an open world RPG with no clear win objective, so you really can do anything you like. Feel free to mix and match builds or disregard them entirely. There is no right way to play the games, and so I am hoping that this guide gives you an idea how different perk builds can help facilitate different player experiences, and that this helps you figure out how to hopefully design your own builds in the future. Anyways, if you are looking for more starter tips, check out my 7 tips for 7 Days to Die players. Also, thank you for joining me for this episode. If you enjoyed it, consider liking and subscribing. And most importantly, have an excellent day.